Been paid for by the committee to re-elect Tim Mahoney. We are speaking with Tim Mahoney, Democratic candidate for state representative in the 51st Legislative District. And Tim, you did hold this position for quite a period of time, and in running for re-election, tell me some of the legislation you dealt with in your time in office.
Well, the first piece of legislation was probably the most important piece. It was the open records law in Pennsylvania. It was one of the worst in the country, and it was my first term. And we made it come from, like, I think 48th to 18th, I think it is. And that was the most important legislation that I was involved with, because it really changed the openness of Pennsylvania. People can get records that they couldn't get before. The second piece was the castle doctrine, which, you have a right to defend yourself in your own home or your own car. And I believe that's a very important piece of legislation.
Now, your name is coming up on the November ballot, and in speaking with your constituents who are watching this on our Facebook page, tell me why they should choose Tim Mahoney over your opponent.
Well, I think I am the best choice because I'm an honest person, and I don't have to go negative on things that aren't true, like the negative ads that my opponent has about me about raising taxes. I've never raised taxes on anybody on a final budget. And I don't think he understands how the legislative process works when you have all these amendments you vote on that really don't mean anything because they don't go anywhere. And he's trying to pick and choose on what things were voted on that didn't mean anything. The most important thing was the final budget of every year. That's where all the money's spent. And there's not once that I voted on a tax increase on a final budget with Governor Wolf. And I just think, he needs to be honest about it. And that's what I try to be. And that's what I am, is about honesty.
And you did hold this seat at one time, so you do carry experience when running for this in November on the 6th.
Yes, and I have a lot of relationships in Harrisburg that really mean a lot to this area. It's like the White Swan Project, the $14 million that was got for there. That was one of my last achievements of, before I left office, that we got that money obtained so the White Swan could be rehabilitated.
And again, the election is coming up on November the 6th, and this is Tim Mahoney. He is the Democratic candidate for state representative in the 51st Legislative District.